Woo! Welcome back, traders. We are going to be covering a couple of different things today. I wanted to go over the Fed's decision right now. My phone is absolutely blowing up to cut interest rates by 25 basis points and what that does to the overall market, guys. You can see here on IWM, you are making a new all-time high right this moment, guys. This is tremendously big news, up 2.15% on IWM, and this is what is going to propel stocks like GameStop, stocks like AMC, NEO, crypto. This is what's going to take these things to their next all-time highs, in my opinion. And this has been my thesis since the beginning, that you are going to see IWM print a new all-time high, and you've been on an absolute tear since April. Now, what could this thing do? You could see a drawback into a potential inverse head and shoulders here, but this thing does not want to let up right now. Almost 244 right now, absolutely eating up the, oh my God, 244, absolutely eating up the rate cut news. And I don't think that it is going to stop here with the insane bullish momentum, guys. Holy Toledo. I am so excited right now watching this, because what this means is you are going to, let me just pull up the last time you made all-time highs. Last time you made all-time highs was November 29th. Do we know what happened in November 29th, guys? Crypto happened. You go into Doge here. Let's go into Doge. November 29th can almost exactly match the previous local top in crypto. You see that November 20th as you are about to get a monthly cross up on the MACD, guys. This is just absurd. This is so insane. But what I wanted to talk about were stocks like AMC and GameStop. AMC printing a nice monthly hammer candle, indicating a potential bottom. And GameStop, where the heck is Jimmy? GameStop. I gotta search it, I guess. GME. So GameStop still sitting around that $26 support zone, and it's going to be very important to hold that as you look to get the 9-day EMA on the weekly time frame crossing above the 50. That is going to be crucial for this bullish momentum to fill all these gaps going into $30. But on the daily time frame, we are continuing to absolutely tear to the upside, hitting 26.47 today and continuing to fill the gap. I think GameStop is taking a little bit of a breather, of a breather here, trying to confirm $26 as a new area of support as you see the 50 begin to swing upwards, signaling a potential golden cross for the first time since, you guessed it, 2024. Happening back here in May 14th. You then tested it, and that propelled you upwards of, perfect test, upwards of 171%, ladies and gentlemen, apes and apettes. So get ready for, maybe it's not that quantity of percents going up, but get ready to potentially test this macro resistance right here, with IWM making all-time highs in past times. When this has happened for GameStop, you've seen these kinds of runs. This happened back November. So this was the November run, which is a beautiful thing, right? But the previous all-time high on IWM was this 20 to 2021 run. And so many things are looking familiar to that run when you look at the macro indicators, right? Your monthly and quarterly MACDs are curling up on these risk on assets for the first time since you saw that retail revolution. And I want to preface this by saying it's not financial advice, but I have had the absolute courage, confidence, and conviction to come on here and to speak on behalf of this retail revolution that I believe so strongly in. happening for the first time since 2020. And I've said this since June. I've said that all these different stocks, look at NeoGo, all these different stocks are primed in such a special way. I mean, just look at Neo on the monthly, 3 white soldiers pattern. Look at the quarterly chart, right? Crossing up for the first time since 2021, guys. As we get rate cuts, as we get breakouts, as we get, wars ending, right? As we get crypto legislation. Let's go to GameStop on the quarterly. You can see you're curling up. What got me back into this play was the curl up on the monthly MACD right here. But the quarterly chart is now showing a curl up for the first time since here. And I don't think it's a coincidence, guys. I think that this is all drawn out. And I do believe you're going to begin to see some of these risk on assets absolutely tear and outperform the S&P 500. As you can see, SQFT up 51% on the day. Just absurd. Let's go up to AMC. AMC undoubtedly being suppressed today, but if you zoom out, guys, you can see you are continuing to curl up on this quarterly MACD, and by no surprise, should expect a quarterly MACD cross if you print green candles on the quarterly time frame, which I believe you will. Should expect that within the next 2 quarters. So what does the next 8 months look like, right? I believe that 2026 can be one of the most bullish years in the American economy in quite some time. We're hosting the World Cup. We're cutting rates. Crypto legislation is coming to town, guys. There is so much to be bullish on that this could be that 2021 meme craze. And that is my belief. I do believe that as the Fed continues to see this monetary policy pivot, that you will see a lot of retail come back into the stock market the same way that they did in this move up. I still think you're going to get this kind of move up, whether it stop at $13, $19, or $43 at those gap fills on AMC. Just stupid, absurd. Give me IWM. So IWM printed a new all-time high today. And if I go into the daily chart, I had a couple different theories on where this thing is going to top out. Now, I did have this rising wedge drawn up. You faked out beneath it, hit the 9-day EMA, and then now you're rocketing back into it. However, I had a little bit more of a macro thesis on the weekly time frame that I think reflects a more bullish outlook on this potential retail revolution. This was your first schematic in which you saw this retail revolution, right? You saw a quick dump, so increase in volatility, right? And then a steep dump during COVID to $92 to $90, and then a recovery almost 100% up to $150 on the weekly time frame. You then traded in this choppy price action until you were able to gap above this previous all-time double top and gain this as new support, right? You absolutely sprung with insane volatility. And let it be known that you have a very similar situation here in which you had a double top. This was your all-time high. You've created this very sharp valley, Valley 1, consolidation, Valley 2, spring into previous all-time high. You should now expect to pass this steep resistance up at 240-ish, use it as resistance, and then gap and spring into this $300 level on IWM, being the first time that we see any kind of astronomically insane price discovery on IWM since this 2020 run, guys. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see for retail to possibly begin to win here as you take the previous all-time highs, right? This was back from IWM's IPO, right? As an index. You touch it, you knife below it. This was taking the previous two double tops, right? Top one, top two. And if you paint that picture, you can easily get not just a price target at 300 by sometime in the next year of 2026, but you can take this inverse head and shoulders and get some, you can get some technical confluence here. Whoops. If I put this on top of the breakout, guys, now watch this, right? You have this inverse head and shoulders that we've been tracking, that you've now broken horizontally. I'm trying to remember if it was the first one or the second. It was the second. Right, so you're now breaking and wicking above this. It was the first. I'm drunk right now. Not really. I'm drunk on DD, baby. But you could see some kind of inverse head and shoulders extension into that $300 territory. And I do believe that you're going to see that just insane gap up and go here. Now, it might not happen as steep as this, right? This is insane volatility. It might be a little bit more drawn out into the wedge up to 321, but I do believe that you're going to cross this and go. Same way that you did back here. And it's been long overdue on a lot of these meme stocks. And I believe that this was the ultimate shakeout during April that allowed institutions to buy in much cheaper on these stocks. Oh, man. And things like NEO, things like AMC and GameStop are all telling that story that you could potentially see a retail revolution here. And a lot of people FOMO back into the stock market before topping out and then absolutely dumping. That is my belief that you will see. As you see the market see a little bit of a cool down before Jerome Powell speaks here in 15 minutes. As expected, right? We're going to watch and see if he comes back hawkish or dovish on the economy. And that will predicate what the stock market does, right? I'd be interested to hear what he says about future cuts and the reasoning behind his first cut in over a year. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will continue to cover these things, right, as we talk about the retail revolution, as I speak very passionately about it because I care deeply about each and every single one of you guys. And I will continue to cover these charts and see what these charts do based off of the Fed's pivot in rate cuts. So thank you guys for tuning in once again. It has been Trap Trades. I love each and every single one of you guys. Slap the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Woo! Rate cuts, baby.